Hello, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, something a little bit different today. I have put it out into the reseller universe, and I have asked people to tell me what what's on their reseller bucket list. So things that they really want to find but they've not found yet, or it doesn't even have to be really expensive. It doesn't have to be a bowl or anything like that. It's just something that they really want to find but haven't yet. I'm going to start off with my own. Well, the thing is, I feel like a lot of people are going to say Flat Eric. I found him, so I've ticked that off my bucket list. Maybe a Game Boy, but I've already ticked him off. I've sold lots of Harry Potter, so probably there might be a lot of Harry Potters on there, but the ones that I can really think of that is seriously on my bucket list, it's a toucan desk lamp where the beak goes like that and the light's underneath. It's been creeping up in price a lot and I've never found one, and it's really annoying. I was like, I really want to find one. my pet monsters from the 80s, the ones with any of the series really, but I'd love to find one, preferably with the chains. This is a personal item that's on my bucket list, and it's basically any vintage t-shirts from like the 80s, 90s with X-Men on it, or the Silver Surfer. I want to find one in a big boy size, and I'd love to find a Casper the Friendly Ghost one, or the Mask one. I know that Rally Roots have found a few Mask ones, and all the good stuff seems to be in America, but yes. Anyway, I'm going to leave mine there, but I hope you enjoy, everybody. There's some really good items on there, so not only are they on people's bucket list, but they are on bolos as well, so that'll be interesting.
Hey George, thanks for your message. I believe you're trying to put stuff on your reseller bucket list, or like your super bolo list, so I thought it'd be better if I just sent you a message. So I've got a good one. I've got a really good one for you. Not many people know about this, I don't think, but I have mentioned it before. You know the film Disney's A Christmas Carol, the one with Jim Carrey in it, that weird animation film? Well, the soundtrack to that is very rare and very sought after. And so much so that there's pretty much no evidence of solds in the UK. When you do your research, do 3 years of research and look worldwide, that's where you see them. You've got £100, £200 plus on a Christmas soundtrack CD. I reckon the best place to find those is going to be at a boot sale, or a garage sale, or a tabletop, or something like that. Somewhere where they're not scanning the CDs, because the minute someone scans that, they're going to realise it's worth a lot of money. So keep your eye out for Disney's A Christmas Carol soundtrack CD. And if you see that, grab it. I've been looking for it for years, never found one. It's got to be out there somewhere though, hasn't it? Just one thing, George. Keep it to yourself. Bloody YouTube resellers ruining the game for everyone. Mum's word.
The one thing that's always been on my reseller bucket list is the horse racing derby electronic game. I think it was like 4 or 5 lanes. If anyone used to watch Ben Fitzpatrick, that is the jam. I think it sells for like £300, £400, £500, depending on the condition. I think it's made by Peers, and I swear, correct me if I'm wrong, they used to sell it in Next years and years ago. And what makes it worse is that my own dad has found it out in the wild, but I haven't. So that is definitely on the list, and hopefully this year I'll be able to pick one up.
Hello, people of Reseller George's channel. Thank you so much for inviting me to take part in this little collaboration video. My reseller bucket list, I've always wanted to find a crystal purple, like the purple crystal clear Game Boys. I've never found one, a Game Boy Color that is. I still haven't ever found one, and if I do, I'll probably end up keeping it rather than selling it, even though there is probably like 80 to 90 quid on it, or at least there was last time I checked the market. It always changes, but that's one of the things. And I've always heard people go on about a Flat Eric, and I didn't even know what that was until about a couple of weeks ago. I always thought it was just a screwdriver, a different type of screwdriver, like a flathead. But anyway, I want to find one of them, and I think hitting the car boots this year, uncovering stuff in and around Bristol, I'm sure there's some quirky person that's got some stuffed plushies just like that for me to find. And the other one I want to find is an original Bagpuss plush that has like the little zip in it that's actually a bag. but like the original one, not like all the remakes and stuff. I think they go for like 100 quid or something. I remember seeing that way back in the past. Don't hold me to anything now, but those are my three things. A Game Boy Color that's purple, a flat Eric, because everyone talks about it and I've never found one. I always thought it was a screwdriver. And then, what was the last one I said? An original bag puss. I'm sure there's many other things that I'm gonna find along the way that I didn't even know existed, and I'll be grateful that I did find them. But if there is anything that I have found that I can find again, the Horus Heresy Warhammer collection of books, I want that again. £400 sale, I'll take it every day.
Hi guys, Veronica here with a K. I am a part-time reseller and full-time working mama of one, living and working in the United States. And my 3 bucket list items for my reselling business in 2025 are 3 brands plus a bonus item. The 3 brands I would absolutely love to find for the first time, all of them. First of all, Mother Jeans. Second of all, Aviator Nation. And third, Magnolia Pearl. Would absolutely love to find any piece by any of those brands. My other bonus bucket list item is literally anything that will sell for $200 or more. That would be lovely. I haven't had a sale like that in a while. And yeah, it would be great to accomplish that again in 2025. Georgie, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on this video. Appreciate you, and I will see you soon in a live. Mwah!
Hi guys, it's Jake here at Reselling Jake. I'm going to keep this short and sweet and tell you my 3 items on my bucket list that I want to find. In no particular order, I'm going to be starting with the Adidas Predator football boots, vintage ones from back in the day. Olympus 2 camera, you can pick them up crazy cheap at the boot sale, looking for a good profit on eBay. And finally is a purple label Ralph Lauren 100% cashmere cable knit jumper. They go for crazy money, and I know they're out there in the wild. So yeah, they are my 3 items on my bucket list. There's probably more, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Good luck to everyone finding their stuff on their bucket list.
Bucket list items. My bucket list items are mainly items that would just make my heart happy to find and sell. So not necessarily that they are worth a lot of money, although some of them are. So Belinda Lion tea towels, I would love to find any of those. Never found any in 7 years. A J&G Meakin Garden Party coffee pot. I would settle for anything with that pattern on, although the coffee pot to me is like the holy grail and is now worth a lot of money. A Catherine Holmes saucepan. In theory, that should be easy to find. Never found one. If I did, I'd probably keep that. When I first started, a flat Eric was the thing that all the resellers found, and I think the value's probably gone down now, but I feel like I'm not a real reseller because I've never found one, so I'll probably still need to find one of those. And recently added to my bucket list is a Spage Atkinson butterfly wing picture, because Jessie and Kev have found those, and yeah, they're worth good money.
My bucket list item, which I've been looking for since the 90s, since I started buying stuff to sell on, there's been one item that I've been looking for, which I had in my childhood. It was a little yellow Space Invader kind of rip-off LCD handheld game thingammy-jigamy. It was called Galaxy Invaders, or Galaxy Invader. I'll find a couple of completed ones and put them on screen here. It's this thing. Prices for them these days have gone absolutely insane. And I've been looking for one since I started going to jumble sales and boot sales in the 90s, and I've never seen one in the wild. It is still on my bucket list. Most other things on my bucket list I've managed to source in the last 20 odd plus years of doing this. But that Galaxy Invader little handheld game that I had as a kid has evaded me. If you've got one, let me know. Ta-ra!
So, the reseller bucket list. I have always wanted to find out in the wild NASCAR jacket. A proper vintage big NASCAR jacket from the 80s or 90s. Ideally in my size because I might be tempted to keep it. But yeah, never seen one out in the wild. Seen them on wholesale sites, but never out in the wild. I just want to walk into a charity shop one day and it'd be there, hanging up there, waiting for me to get it.
Hey everybody, it's Angie from Angie's Oddities, and I recently got a message from George, the UK reseller friend of mine, and he said, "What's on your bucket list?" And I had to think about it. Like when I go to the thrift stores, I mean, I have some general ideas of what I'm looking for, but sometimes it's just what hits me. But there are a few things that I am looking for, and so he asked me to share with you. So I am on the other side of the pond. I'm in the United States, and so he probably looks for different things than I do, but I will share some things that I look for. One I look for are the Dimensions Golden Needle cross stitch kits. They're not just ordinary cross stitch kits. They come in like a bag, and they're very expensive kits. And I have picked them up at rummage sales for $2 to $3 and sold them for $40, $50. So I'm going to show you one right here and right here, so you can kind of see what I'm looking for. I look for those every time I go out. And I always look for swung vases. In the shows that I do, a lot of the ladies collect these swung vases, and they're not easy to find. And when you do find them, they're pretty expensive. So I'm going to give you a few examples, but right here and right here. Now know that the swung vases are beautiful and expensive, but I do try to find them. When I see them out in the wild, I try to pick them up. The other thing that I like to pick up is a pocket dragon. These are little dragons, and they're from the 80s and 90s, and they are really collectible. Some of them go for huge money. Now, not everyone does. I have to, check comps and everything, but there's a lot of them out there that are worth some money, and it shocked me. So I'm going to give you two examples here and here, so you can get an idea. These little pocket dragons are only like 3 inches, maybe. Some of them might be a little bigger because they're a grouping of them. But I'm shocked. The next one I'm going to show you, did I bring it with me? There it is. Okay, the last one is Radco. I love to find Radco ornaments. You'll always know them by this little shape that they have. Their little logo. Let's see if I can show you that. Yep, there we go. And the CR. There's going to be Christopher Radco somewhere on there usually. These are made of glass. The older ones are very collectible. I love to find them. And I'm going to give you two examples of what I just sold this time over Christmas. There's this one and this one. Both of them sold for Christmas. Both of them I paid less than $10 for. And so those usually sell very quickly for me. They're a good deal. Usually I can get them. The last batch that I got before Christmas was a whole bag of ornaments for $2, not realizing there was 3 Christopher Radcos in there. So if you know what you're looking for, they're a good deal. So George, those are my answers. I will send this to you. Have a great time. See you from over the pond.
Hi George, thank you very much for reaching out. So what is it that I'm actually desperate to find? So there's a quick story about this one. I'm a bit of a sneakerhead. I have been for quite some time. A good few years ago, I actually won some trainers, off of the sneakers website for Nike. And they were a pair of Jordan 4s, but they were the PSGs. So they were incredible. I absolutely loved it. Brand new. But I sold them. Sold them for a good amount of money, but they were in my size. So I'm desperate to find them again.
So this is what we're talking about. Air Jordan 4s, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. As you see, the prices have now gone absolutely bonkers. But if I can find a pair of these used, I will be absolutely made up.
Thanks again, and hope you have an awesome day.
El Reventa here. Hello. So in terms of reseller bucket list, stuff that I'm really interested to see, there's like 3 things. So the first is anything sort of Babylon 5 related. Babylon 5 was a 90s TV sci-fi show, one of the best shows ever. I found the VHSs in the wild, but I'd love to find the Micro Machines figures, any of the books out in the wild, just because it'd be so rare. Secondly, things that shouldn't be where they are. So for example, I found a t-shirt for a pub in Greenock in Milton Keynes. No idea how that got there. So like that sort of thing where you find something and you're like, what? Yeah, what's that doing here? So anything like that. Thirdly, any like really high-end bicycle components, so like Shimano Di2, electronic gears, or Campagnolo. Particularly like if it was picking up where someone doesn't know what they've got and you pick it up for like very cheap. So Campagnolo would be great, Shimano Di2, just brilliant.
Okay, so on my reseller bucket list, I've got a few items, but I do a lot of books, so the obvious answer, and it's probably going to be an answer for a lot of people, is a first edition Harry Potter. I've found a lot of first edition Harry Potters, but not first edition first print. That is like the best, but it hasn't got to be, you know, the first book. So Philosopher's Stone, any of them really, any of the first three, they're the best ones to find in hardback. If I found one of those, I would be absolutely made up. I've sold other ones that are similar, but not that. That is, you know, probably Philosopher's Stone is my favourite book, and a first edition first print would be very hard to get rid of, but for the money it's worth, totally would get rid of it.
Hey, it's Rachel at Thrift and Bean. Here's 3 of my bucket list items that I would like to find out in the wild. Number 3 has to be band tees, vintage band tees for me, anywhere from the 60s to the 90s I look out for. I have been super lucky to find a few out there, Meatloaf, Fleetwood Mac ones a couple of times, but that for me is something that I specifically go out for and look. Number 2 isn't a specific item or brand, but it's 80s and 90s toys, vintage toys, retro toys, anything that gives me the joy from my past. Polly Pocket, Popples, Care Bears, anything that is just so nostalgic and girly and fun, even not girly, Master of the Universe, whatever it may be. And number 1 for me has to be a Jellycat. Of course it is. Bashful Bunny Dixie was released in 2010 and retired in 2014. Resells mad money, anywhere from £500 to £2,000. So those are my bucket list items.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark from Wally's Wares. I've been reselling for about 23 years now, so there's quite a few bolos that I've picked up over the years, like Now 4CD, Flat Eric, Hero Quest, a couple of My Pet Monsters. A few things that are still on my bucket list. Obviously a Philosopher's Stone first edition, preferably signed because then I wouldn't have to work for the rest of the year. Pair of Flame new rock boots that I used to have when I was a kid. That'd be quite cool. When I was younger in the 80s, 90s, my dad owned a video shop, so it'd be great to find a few pre-cert videos, maybe some of the video nasties. They go for quite a bit nowadays. But yeah, that's it.
Things that I would love to find that are on my bucket list. I would love to find a Louis Vuitton handbag. I would love to find a pair of Malonos from shoes. Sex in the City. They would be a keeper. But I think the thing that I would love to find the most would be a real Del Boy moment. A piece of pottery that is ancient, from ancient China, which is worth millions and changes my whole life completely. Or a piece of jewellery, just something that is worth millions of pounds, or a piece of art. That's what I would like to find. That's my bolo.
Hello, we're That's Flipping Retro.
Yes, we are indeed.
And George has asked us to give you our bolos. So what does bolo stand for again?
Be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout for.
Yeah.
So do you want to start off with yours?
Yeah, sure. I've always wanted to find an original copy of Mad Seasons Above on LP, which was released on Columbia Records back in the late 90s. And it has Mad Season etched on one side of the disc, so album one side etching the other. And I've always wanted to find one of those. They are worth quite a bit of money. I did get in a bidding war for one once, and it went up to over £500. So if you see one of those, definitely a bolo. I would love to find an original first edition of On the Road as well. That's worth quite a bit. We're talking thousands. The Boba Fett with printed arms. From
Lego.
Yeah, Lego Boba Fett from Cloud City. He's worth up to £1,000, I think, on eBay at the moment. Copy of the Lane Staley biography, Get Born Again. Was it Get Born Again? I think. Because it was re-released as Angry Chair. I'm pretty sure, but it's got a green cover and it's got kind of a silhouette of Lane Staley on the front. But they're worth hundreds as well, so I would love to find one of those.
Yes. And I would like to find, probably a bit less cool than your stuff, but it's a wrestling figure and it was a Hasbro one, and it was Dusty Rhodes, and he's quite a large guy with a black leotard and yellow spots on it. And if you can find the Hasbro figure from early 90s of him, you're looking at £150, £200 in good condition. Other than that, Mail Away Undertaker with his coat and his dark brown hair in the same line of figures.
Sorry, and just to end on this, I'd love to find any of the Silent Hills that are worth anything, really. Basically, the first one for the PS1, Silent Hill 2 and 3 for the PlayStation 2, they were worth money. Failing that, Dimension 1 and 2 for the DS. Actually, I own these things in my personal collection, but for the business would be wonderful to find them for £1 at a car boot. So Dimension 1, it had 2 different case colours. Either are worth money, they're worth up to about £100, and Dimension 2 for the DS, that is worth up to about 150 quid. So
I would like to find Tate from American Horror Story, the Funko Pop, because he's worth about 100 and something pounds.
Yes. So yeah, those are what we would be on the lookout for. Whether we'll find any in the wild is another matter. I very much doubt I'd ever find an original copy of the first edition on the road, but who knows? You never know, do you?
Please subscribe to our channel.
Right, that's everything. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've been entertained, and you never know, I might do another one in the future, because I know a few people have wanted to do it but I haven't had the time to do it. So yeah, I might do a part 2. I love you and leave you, but thank you everybody for sticking around. And yes, please remember to like and subscribe to all of the resellers you see here on Instagram, TikTok and the Tube, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.